Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, real quick, I wanted to go into something I was meditating on earlier today about how we in this truth, specifically starting with the men, we have true power. We have the real power. And of course, the scriptures tell you that, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is power. And even in which I'm going to get it, Deuteronomy chapter 4 and 6, where the Lord said, where Moses said that, or the Lord through Moses said that, this is our wisdom and our understanding in the sight of the nations. And that's basically saying that this is your power. Oh, this is how you have power over the nations, because as we know, we discontinued from our heritage and we lost everything that we fell away from our heritage and we lost all our information and our knowledge, which is where our power lied at, in the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Abashah. And that's also a part of our connection to him. So when we lost all of that, we literally lost our power. And that's why we're in the position that we're in. But the Lord is reestablishing our power first by the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And so, what I did was I went on ChatGPT and I typed in, is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding the highest form of power man could gain? Because in due time, in time shortly, the Lord is finna make it known who his chosen is, who the elect are, or who he's dealing with. And with that, the power that they actually possess. As the elders always say, brothers always say too, we have the power. It just, this world doesn't see it yet. This world doesn't understand what true power really is. So I just asked ChatGPT about that, and then asked it what it would choose, because it went into different forms of power. And I asked it what it would choose. So I'm going to read it and get the scripture, and Lord will is edifying. And I'm going to try to make it quick so that the video don't cut off. It says, that's a fascinating question. Well, I said, is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding the highest form of power a man could gain? It says, that's a fascinating question. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding are often seen as forms of power because they shape how a person perceives the world and interacts with it. They can guide decisions, influence others, and unlock potential that physical or brute force alone can't. But whether they're the highest form of power depends on what we mean by power. Wisdom go beyond just knowing facts. It's the ability to apply knowledge in ways that lead to good judgment and a deeper understanding of the world, something that these other nations don't have, which is why we are designed, we as in the Israelites are designed to lead the world, lead the earth, govern the earth. It says it allows someone to act with foresight and empathy, leading to harmony and progress, which that's what Yahweh Shai is gonna bring. Harmony and progress. Harmony meaning not saying all nations we gonna be all as one, but saying it's gonna be peace on earth. When Yahweh Shai come back, it's gonna be peace, and there will no longer be war. Like I said, harmony and progress. So it's gonna be peace, and our kingdom is gonna continually progress. Which I guess I get that. I got it recently. This is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 and 7. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And see that the Prince of Peace is going into that harmony, because there will no longer be war among the nations on the earth at all. And it says, of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. So like I said, the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end, going into the progress. Now it says knowledge provides the foundation, while understanding helps you connect the dots and see the bigger picture. However, there are other types of power that people often seek. For example, physical power, strength, health can be invaluable for survival and protection. It says social power, which is influence, charisma, leadership, can shape entire societies or movements. Economic power, wealth, resources can provide the means to create or destroy. Emotional power, self control, resilience, empathy can be transformative in personal growth and relationships. So, like here. It says it could be argued that the highest form of power is the ability to combine wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with other forms of power in a way that creates a positive impact, both personally and on the world at large. The greatest power might not lie in what you know, but how you use it and what you know. Or it says, but how you use what you know and how you influence others. So what I said was, if you had to choose any form of power, which would you choose? Which would you make your own? Which would you choose? But I'm gonna skip this part because it only said understanding, which I said wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is together. So this was his response. It says, you're absolutely right. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding are indeed interconnected, and together they form a powerful triad. In that sense, if we're considering them as one package, I'd likely lean towards this combination too, which lets you know that even AI would want wisdom, knowledge, and understanding above all else if it had the option to be or choose any other form of power. It says there's something about the depth and balance of all three working together that feels incredibly potent. Here's why I say that as well. Knowledge gives you the foundation, the facts, data, and insights that allow you to navigate the world. Understanding helps you process that knowledge and see connections, allowing you to understand why things are the way they are and how they fit into a larger picture. Wisdom takes it a step further, applying the understanding and knowledge with careful judgment and a long-term view. Is not just knowing what's true, but knowing how to act on it in the best possible way. Together, these three offer a kind of power that transcends fleeting advantage. They let you make thoughtful decisions, emphasize with others, and see beyond the immediate to the lasting consequences of your actions. It's a form of power that can guide you through any situation, big or small. I think this combo is definitely one of the most enduring kinds of power. It is not something that can be easily taken away or outgrown. So, as you can see, even AI values wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on a general setting. So, how much more is truth? Now, this is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse where is it? Verse 9. Oh, I'm in Joshua. This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 5 and 6. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, so that you should do them in the land whither you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this is a great nation. Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. And I wanted to get that in one other translation. The BBE. It says, so keep these laws and do them, for so will your wisdom and good sense be clear in the eyes of the peoples who hear all these laws, and will say, truly, this great nation is a wise and far-seeing people. Right, so this is true. This is what our power, this is where our power lies. This is a part of what gives us the advantage over the nations. But when we fall away from this, or when our people reject the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding the Lord has given to us, which he only gave it to us, he didn't give it to the other nations. When our people reject it, or when they choose to they choose to reject it, this is what happened. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. So when we do, when we reject the Lord and His will for knowledge and understanding, He rejects. He'll reject us, and He'll put us in captivity and let these other nations, these heathens, rule over us, and we're no longer special. When I say that, I don't mean in a general sense. I mean we lost our power, so now we're not above them. Right now we at the bottom, but now we're gaining that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding back, and and our power is coming back. So now we are elevating far beyond these nations. And it's only starting with the elect until it transcends to the entire nation in the kingdom of heaven. But I just wanted to go into something real quick, just to prove and just to go into how, our power also, it's tied to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. That's true power. And in due time, it's going to manifest in the many different avenues or many different ways that the Lord will allow His power to be manifest through us. So on that note, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth.